April is designated Child Abuse Prevention Month, and while abuse and neglect can take many forms, Prevent Child Abuse Indiana is an organization dedicated to creating a safer, healthier future for children and families across the Hoosier State.
And with more on this topic, we welcome to the show Prevention Education Coordinator at Prevent Child Abuse Indiana, Grayson Pertlebaugh. Welcome, Grayson.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so great to have you. Just a stone's throw down the road from us here at Wish TV. Well, let's start here. Abuse and neglect, as I mentioned, take many forms. One such way that this kind of seeps in is water safety. And with summer vacations, spring break, camps coming up, I mean, this is a great time to remind people of how water safety and being healthy around water can actually avoid some of those forms of neglect, as you mentioned, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely a big mission for us, especially with those warmer weather months coming up. We want children and families to be safe around all bodies of water, not just pools, but any type of water, rivers, lakes that they might be around. And so one way we do that is with our Eyes on the Child initiative, so making sure we're having active supervision on children around water in general, but especially around water as we're hitting these summer months especially.
Kind of going off that too, not only are we talking about swimming and being outside by bodies of water, but you also might have other kids who are maybe on their tablet a little bit more too as well, and having maybe a little bit more screen time.
Yes.
So how do we kind of take prevention steps to make sure our kiddos are being safe on technology?
Yeah, absolutely, right? So it goes back to that supervision piece, right? We want to actively supervise our children in general, but especially around water and also in their digital internet usage, right? So we want to know what they're doing online. We want to be actively monitoring, checking in, and a big piece of that is just the communication. We want to make sure we're having conversations with youth about what they're doing online. If they're talking to people, who they're talking to, what games they're playing, right? Because that's going to be the biggest step in prevention, is just awareness and knowledge about what they're doing, so that we can help give them some advice and some guidance on how to be safer doing those things.
Awesome. Okay, so online environments, physical environments, they're different, but equally important, as we say. So what are some of those practical ways? Let's step back into the physical environment and say water safety. What are some of those practical ways you guys are offering up and reminding families to take steps to safety?
Absolutely. I'm so glad you asked. We have some Water Watcher badges here today. They look like this, if you can see that. They are something that we offer for free from PCAIN, or Prevent Child Abuse Indiana. You can go to our website, pcain.org, and we ship these out for free to folks. They can go to professionals, parents, anybody that might want to work on some water safety. And what it is basically just a physical reminder. An adult in that group puts it on, and it's a reminder that they are in charge of actively supervising those children in that moment, that they are not scrolling on their phones, they're not taking any substances, they're not sleeping or sunbathing, but they are actively supervising that body of water and actively supervising those kids. Because as we know about drowning, drowning is quick, drowning is silent, and it's the leading cause of death for youth ages 1 to 4. So we really want to make sure we're being as preventative and proactive as possible.
And you kind of talked about giving some tips and advice for parents. What are some of those tips and pieces of advice that you are able to give?
Yeah, for water safety? Yeah, absolutely. So that active supervision, there's also things that people can do proactively as parents, making sure that they know CPR and rescue resources, looking up maybe some water safety classes or some swimming lessons for their children at local YMCAs or local organizations, because they're not 100% preventative, but definitely a huge step that parents can take just to make sure that their kids are safe.
And now I imagine there's not necessarily a badge for online safety. You don't have a online watcher badge, but there are ways to invoke those conversations with your family members, not just, you know, the nuclear family that's in the house, but those other caregivers that might be coming in to say, hey, you know, this is spring break, this is a time away from school, there might be, you know, more pad time or more TV time is allowed, but please watch out.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that point too, not just the nuclear family, but anybody that might be watching the kids for a weekend or for a day, right? Making sure that everyone's on the same page about that internet supervision, making sure that they're monitoring what the kids are doing. A good piece of advice that we give is, you know, if there's going to be any screen time or internet usage, maybe it's in a communal space, maybe it's in a living room or a kitchen on a laptop, so that it's not happening in a private space, but it can be happening around folks that can kind of look over a shoulder, supervise, see what's going on. And also just, again, really pushing that communication piece with our kids and with our families.
The work you guys do is amazing. And you guys, as we've talked about, touch on so many different aspects of just keeping kids safe which is obviously so important. But you actually have a 5K coming up here too, where our viewers at home can take part and kind of, help you guys, right? Tell us more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. We have Steps for Prevention. It's a walk, run 5K. It's in honor of Matt Bremen, who did a lot of work and support for PCANE in the past, and so it's to honor really his work and his legacy. And the funds that we raise there, we're hoping to raise at least $30,000. It helps us do all of the education initiatives and work we do around water safety, internet safety, but we also offer a lot of trainings on a lot of different topics. So if folks are interested, they can go to our PCANE website for more information to register. Registration is $35. And then check in. We are going to be doing the 5K at the canal, but they can find us at the Ohio Street Basin that morning at 9:30 and check in, and we'll go from there.
Yay.
Awesome.
That's
Yeah,
so cool.
we'll have all the information on that. You can register for 5K, learn more about how you can create a safer future for these Hoosier kids and their families. Visit our website at lifestylelive.tv. Grayson, thank you so much.
Yes, so
Thank
nice to meet
you.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.